I was diagnosed with autism in September, using the normal exam assessment procedures. Yeah. I think you're born. I don't know if you actually are. I think you're born with autism. Because obviously there's no known cause for autism.
Autism is what is called a spectrum disorder. So autistic spectrum disorder ranges from mild to moderate to severe difficulties with social communication, understanding language, understanding inference in language.
If I don't let a shop go past, I don't let a person go past without looking at them. That sounds really weird, but without noticing, I know that someone's walked past because I don't miss anyone. Sometimes I do, but I haven't got two heads, so I'm not going to look. That'll just be awkward. But yeah, I don't let anyone with my eyes look at. So with my eyes, I notice that everyone. I notice each shop that's going past.
Coping with unexpected changes to routines, sometimes compulsions, in that you have to perform certain behaviours in a certain way, can lead to OCD. Lots of people with autism are extremely bright. It's nothing to do with intellect. You may have heard of Asperger's syndrome, and that's now classed as higher functioning autism. Classic autism is more where young people and adults don't particularly have speech, so they're quite severely affected by their autism. In college here, anyone who's on the spectrum is generally high functioning. It's an extremely challenging difficulty to have. It's an unseen difficulty, which makes it really hard for other people to relate to people with autism because they assume that they're just being awkward or rude or uncooperative, and usually those types of students can get into trouble. And that's where the support service comes in, because we explain on those students' behalf that they need extra help, and that sometimes because they're panicking or frustrated or upset or anxious, it may lead them to act inappropriately, i.e. lose their temper, start to shout, run away, throw something down, just as you would if you were panicked about something that happened to you, even though you're not on the spectrum. So it's a massive, massive area. I think it can only be a good thing that autism is in the media. It's very high profile at the moment. It's getting the recognition it deserves, because the more that people are aware of it, the more they understand it, and the less problems we have in society as a whole because of it. And there are people who really stand out, and they're usually classed as geniuses or really creative people, and when they're honest about their autism, it makes it easier for everybody else. But it's no longer such a stigma as it used to be. But the big problem is that now that lots more people and parents are aware of it, they quite rightly want their young children to be assessed so they know what they're dealing with. And at the moment we don't have the resources to do that. So it's a double-edged sword. There's lots more awareness of it, but we don't have the capability to deal with it and to put the support in place as quickly as we would like.
Depends. Some autism, there's that film. What was that film we saw a clip of? Rain Man or something?
Yeah, Rain Man.
He used it to an advantage of a casino sort of thing. That shows the sort of not bad side of autism. No.
Did you say it's disrespectful?
I wouldn't say it's disrespectful. I say that they're showing that this is what autism is. They're showing what autism is. But I think that they're doing it in the wrong way. I think they don't need to say, "Oh, wait a second, he's autistic. Right, come to the casino with me." That's never going to happen. That's what they're saying. That all autistic people are like that. They're not. They're all different.
But great, really, in principle.
Could autism it affect you getting a job?
It can. It's not supposed to, because everyone, even at work, as well as in education, they're supposed to be covered by the Equality Act, and discrimination is illegal, as we know, and disability is one of the key requirements of equality of opportunity. However, employers often have a way of weeding out people that they don't want without saying, "Oh, it's because you've got autism and we don't want that sort of person here." So in the same way that they do it for people who they think are too old, like me, They don't ask you your age outright, but they'll look at what date you got your qualifications and find a way to not take you on. So if you go along for an interview and you've got autism, you're going to be anxious. You may not be able to relax enough to convince the employer that you would be great at the job. So yes, it does happen a lot. And also if you don't understand what you're doing at work and you're quite new to the job and you become a little bit overwrought, then that can count against you and they'll just dismiss you for, you know, insubordination or non-compliance, and really it's to do with them not understanding the autism. But having said that, there are some forward-thinking firms now, especially in America, where they positively recruit people with autism because they are so clever. In the same way that they did with dyslexia 10 years ago, they're starting to see now that in a certain type of job, people with autism are absolutely brilliant because of the attention to detail and the rigorous manner that they can go through information. There was a documentary on not long ago, I don't know if you saw it, about a young man who was autistic and he just couldn't get a foothold in the door of any firm. He was very, very large and he was autistic. But one law firm in London gave him a chance and they gave him some work to do and he did amazingly well because he did the detail absolutely to the nth degree, whereas all of us would be thinking, oh crikey, that's 2 hours I could do with a cup of tea. He just stuck at it all day long. So if you get in the right job, you can do amazing things. Code breaking, spying, anything like that.
I have something that they usually call it an autistic meltdown. When I've had one of those, and they used to be really common. They're a bit less now, but they're really they used to be like nearly every single week. Once a week I'd have a tantrum, as you'd call it, and my mum would film them, and just to see what I'm like in the future. And I watched some of them recently, and I laughed my head off, because that's what some people would react. They don't know how to react. They'll be like, oh, he's mental, sort of thing. They don't know, because when you see someone in the shop and having a tantrum, do you go, oh, he's autistic, or do you go, nutter?
Or spoiled.
Or spoiled. What do you say? Do you think a nutter? Be honest. What do you think? Do you think they're autistic, or do you think they're a nutter?
I don't know, just let the parents deal with it.
Let the parents deal with it? What do you think?
To be honest, if I saw a little kid like having a tantrum, like in the middle of the street, like crying, I might think like he hasn't like got a toy or something he didn't want it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really. That would be the first thing that.
Yeah. So it's okay. Chris, what would you think if you saw someone going? Remember the video we saw of the kid? If you saw that happening, would you just go nutter, or angry old person?
I just think he's upset for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Would you ever think it's autism? Now would you think it's autism?
Yeah, kind of.
I like how I'm interviewing you now.
Generally, I would say don't be embarrassed about having it. Find out as much as you can about how it affects you in particular, because no two people are the same. And then explain to people before it comes to a standoff where someone tells you you've got a timetable change for today and you're not happy with it, and you will stand and argue, well, you shouldn't have done that. Well, I want to go in my old room. So let people know in advance that it really upsets me if things change, or I'm affected by lots of loud noises and they really freak me out. And if you're comfortable with how you are and you can relate that to other people, then they don't think, oh, he's just an awkward old so-and-so, or she's just being a prima donna. So always try, if you can, to say, these are the things that I really find difficult. So if you can help me with that, and if you ever see me getting in a state, it's not because I don't like you. If I don't make a lot of eye contact with you, it's not because I don't like you, it's because I find it really threatening.
I'd say if you have autism, speak to people who also have autism so they know, because obviously it is different. Everybody's autism is different. So some other things, they're different to other people. Like your hobbies are different to mine. Yeah.
Well, parents usually have to really fight hard for everything they get for their kids. So I would say find out what's available and don't give up until you get what you need for your child. In college here, we take loads of people now with autism, whereas years ago they were hidden away, they got sent off to special schools somewhere and they only mixed with other kids with autism, and that's not real life. So for parents, I would say do what's right for your child and get the professionals on your side. And lots of parents are used to fighting battles, but it doesn't really get any easier, and it can get harder as you get older, because education now, they're pulling back on the free bits, and now it's up to 18. You know, everyone after that's supposed to be taking out loans eventually. So people with autism often, and other severe conditions, often get pushed to one side. So I'd say to parents, just keep going. Find out who's on your side, speak to the learning support people, speak to whoever you can in Hampshire County Council, and just keep going until you get what you want.
I think that'll be it.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Let's hope it came out all right.